Hey, welcome to the DVP channel. And I got to admit, right, it has been too long since I actually have to say that, and it's good to be back, right? So today we do have Evangelion, right? Don't mind me if I butcher the name well, because the thing is, I never actually watched this anime, but it is the top deck of the meta currently, right? So this is the top 8 game of what we are going to witness here. It's actually the Willy versus the Shinji. Alright, so basically the Spear Gaius, I believe that's the machine name, and we do actually see the Mari coming down looking at top 3, so very obvious of what a meta deck can do, right? Because it does have allow him to actually search for your pieces, and we do see him actually picking up the new Unit-02. And this new Unit-02 is actually pretty unique because it's actually one of the first few attackers, I believe, in the game to actually do triple attack, right? Triple attack in one card is actually pretty insane because look at how far we have come. And we do see the right player actually just setting up energy here, you know, just going for the Mari as well as the Shinji. And this Shinji is just basically generating energy once it's active. So it's a pretty slow play from the right hand side, but he's going first, so of course you have to set it up. And we do see the Asuka here as well as the Misato, if I'm not mistaken, that's the name. Right, so pretty nice, setting up the promo as well as the double energy, and this double energy Misato allows you to actually cycle one card every other turn. And we do see actually the aggressive play from the right player here, and then going for the Misato on the energy line, as well as his own Misato double energy ball, as well as this very interesting Shinji Ikari, which basically is a 4K attacker as well as an impact negate. And we will get to see why later. The deck has so much interesting 5 energy cards, and we do see actually going for the first damage here, hitting to a get trigger from the left hand side, and the left hand side will actually hit into a draw trigger as well. So pretty insane to hit 2 triggers back to back, because I mean there are some cards that are no trigger I believe, but he doesn't hit any of the blanks, so that's pretty nice for him. And we do see the aggressive play coming back from the left side as he does push out one card. Then going for the Misato, like I mentioned just now, you know, just allow him to cycle every turn. And you do need some wheelies in the drop zone as well, because the new Unit-02 actually requires them in the drop zone. And do see the color trigger of the deck here, basically allowing you to choose one unit in the front line later to actually allow you to draw one if you don't block the attack. And do see the Unit-08 here, which allows you to draw 2, discarding 1. Pretty nice cycle, I would say, and allows him to minus 1k later in the turn as well. And for the final AP, does go for the Unit-02, which allows him to minus 1k BP. So he is able to tick off the Shinji in the front line here. He does go for the both 1k on the Shinji, and we do actually draw one thanks to the Asuka. So it's a bit slightly delayed here, but he does actually go for the draw one there. And of course, I think he actually misses the color trigger effect here, because the color trigger allows him to actually draw additional 1 more card if he does, you know, doesn't get blocked. And I believe he actually missed it this turn, so that's pretty unfortunate because that card can only be triggered on the turn it's played. And we do see a no trigger from the right hand side, which is pretty unfortunate, but he does go down to 5 life. And it is his second AP, 3 AP turns, sorry, and he does go for the AP draw on here. I believe he does have final, because if you don't have final and you're going to do that, you are pretty much quite behind the rest of the game. And we do see actually him pushing up the Shinji, the double energy, but he does have, I would say 5 energy backline, and we do see a Mari as well. So we do finally see 7 energy here, and I believe the ace card of that is going to come down here. Let's actually use the Misato himself to actually drop the wheelie card from his hand to cycle. And I would say it's a pretty interesting way to actually mix the package, because Willy is his own deck, but he does mix it with the Shinji. And I'm going to go for the I understand here, because he does go for the final, allow him to withstand 2 AP. Does use the next AP here, and most likely raiding into the 7 cost. No, does go for the Cassius Spear, alright, which allows him to draw 1, cycle 1. You know, very nice, basically removing that body. And does discard the triple D there, and he's gonna go for that Spear of Cassius, Unit-01, and it's a very unique skill, right? So you actually on play, you do draw 1 card, and then you can actually just play a card for free in active. Yes, as simple as that. As we do see him actually going for the Asuka, and this Asuka is actually just on play, draw 1 card, a 5k attacker, and 6 energy, so it's pretty nuts. And we do see him actually go for the Misato from the backline, which allows him to pick up, whether give 1 unit with 5 energy or more, impact 1 or double damage, and I believe he's going to give a double damage to the Asuka instead. So to create a lot of pressure for this turn, he's going to go for the swing first, and the left lane immediately answers with the Unit-02, which of course allows him to place the top card of this card, place the top card of this character that is in red state to the drop zone, and then you basically have the body back. and we do hit into an immediate special, answering that Spear of Cassius, Unit-01. So it's very unfortunate for right hand side here, as we do see the color trigger coming here. So pretty insane. He's hitting a special as well as a color, allowing him to play back the Asuka in the front line. And this Asuka allows you to, you know, throw one card from your hand to actually minus 1 KBP, which will basically, you know, allows you to make very sick plays, you know, if you have all the cards aligned. Let's go for the Misato first, right? Allowing him to discard one and drawing one card. So that's discard the one cost here. And of course, with all the cards assembled, we're gonna expect a very big play here, as he does go for the Asuka promo on the back line here. And this Asuka promo, if I not mentioned already, it's actually pretty insane, right? Because it does have two abilities, allowing you to draw one card and of course further minus 1k, which really sets up for the Unit-02 later if he does raid it. Let's go for the Unit-02 with the rare version 1 or the SR one, which allows him to actually minus 1k. So he raids on the promo, so he does actually minus 1k on both cards. And that's the unfortunate part for the right hand side player here, because he does have a 2k unit in the front line. So I do assume the card will be destroyed here, and we do see the new Unit-02 here, which allows him to actually basically gain double attack as long as you do see two opponent cards in the front line minus 1k. And he's going to use the promo to actually further minus 1k, removing that body so he doesn't have a charm blocker here. And then we do see a SU Command Princess, which further minus 3k and further minus 1k. So that Shinji is only 3k BP here. I believe just only 2k because it's on the opponent's turn. And we do see the new Unit-02 going for the swing. And if you guys don't really know, this guard can swing 3 times, right? 3 times is insane. You'll see a final trigger, which is pretty much useless here. Let's go for the swing again, and he's preparing the drop zone. Very confident that it won't die here, because you know it's at the end of the attack. Then you actually remove 4 cards from the drop zone with the wheelie cards, and then you actually restand and do gain additional 3k BP for whatever reason, and of course not able to be blocked by 3k or less. And we do see a draw trigger here, very nice. Let's actually go for the restand here, and then removing the red source so it can't be used additionally for the next turn. So that's pretty balanced right there. He's gonna go for the next swing, I believe, with the Asuka. Asuka is 7k, mind you. Let's go for the Asuka on the left first, going for the swing, hitting to the second life here. We do hit into an active trigger, which is actually pretty nice for the Shinji because it's now currently 6k, so he can actually block one of the attacks decently. By that swing with the Misato first, he's going to use the first Shinji first, because if he does hit into an active here, he can actually block it. The new, or rather 02 is going to hit him for the last life. Does hit into the special, which is really timely because if you don't realize, he has no more life, right? Because he does have one more swing with the Asuka, triple swing by the way, and that's 7 attacks in one turn, but thanks to that special, he removed to the 6 now. And we will see him actually going for the push to the energy line, to the front line, sorry. And this is definitely his final turn. And we do see him going for the Misato in the energy line as well. And this card actually, you know, it didn't really work out for him in the previous turn because of the special, but I can imagine the amount of pressure it can put if it does stick for pretty much further turns, and of course does not getting answered immediately. Or rather, if you imagine if he doesn't have the special in the life previously, that whole Shinji, right, will be able to generate so much advantage here, because he just retire 1 unit and then drawing 1 card. But we do see the triple A, I mentioned triple D just now, so don't mind me, going for that swing and then immediately blocked by the 02, essentially a free block, which is I think a pretty nice move, right? Because you do respect that, you know, you have gotten a free block, so you better abuse it immediately. And we do hit into another special. Man, this left player is crazy, as he does go for the special on the Shinji, and this turn is immediately passed. And I believe this is the final turn for this game here. And we go for the Misato once again, cycling into the deck. And I would say, having a meta deck playing this kind of search engines, or rather the draw engines, is pretty insane, because the consistency is so much more increased. And we do see him going for the Mari one last time, looking at top 3 and picking up another Asuka, right? Although we didn't actually see him use the Asuka effect in the previous turn, I must say in clutch situations like this now, he can actually use them, discarding 1 each and then just dropping power on the right hand side. Do see actually go for the Unit-08 here, which allows you to draw 2, discarding 1. And it does minus 1k as well, so it's pretty, I would say, annoying in that sense. And you do see him discarding the Asuka 0 cost from the hand, not going to do too much there. And he's going to go for another Mari on the back line, interestingly. Drawing 3, not drawing 3, sorry. Looking at top 3, then picking up the 02 there. Unfortunately, no more AP, so it's not able to raid them but does decide to discard one of the other hand. Does discard the Asuka which he picked up previously. So very unfortunate, but it is what it is, and he's gonna go for the swing here. He does have 4 swings against 3 bodies, so unless the right player hit into a final here, it will most likely not be able to, you know, survive this turn. We do see actually -1k on the AAA, and then going for the swing first, alright, with the left hand side 08. Still deciding what to swing. He does swing with the Misato first, alright, just 500 BP. Does block it with the Shinji, alright, it's a free block. Does go for the 3k swing with the Asuka, and then decide to eat it here. And unfortunately, no final to extend this game, and this will be it. Now, this is the deck list for the left hand side. And this is the deck list for the right hand side.